As India gets ready to bid farewell to its greatest player ever, another supremely talented youngster is getting ready to take the Masters place. Virat Kohli is now emerging to be the best ODI player in international cricket as he keeps notching up ton after ton. Joining me on the show this evening, Sunil Gavaskar, live from Nagpur, and right next to me in the studio, no, that's not Dean Jones. That's an Aussie bowler. He's got a bruised eye, that's a black eye, and blood coming out of the nose.
I'm not bowling. I'm not going to Bengaluru. Bowlers, we've had enough. I'm going home. I've got nightmares of Sharma, Kohli, Dhawan. I've had enough. You know, we've only taken 14 wickets in 5 games. 14 wickets in 5 games. Look at me. Have a look at me. I messed up. That's it. I've had enough.
All right, now before we celebrate Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan's knock on the show this evening, let's just rub it in a bit more with the Aussies. We've got Dean Jones in the studio. We'll just quickly look at the 5 highest run chases. And why
you don't have to. You don't have to look at it all.
Every one of them have come against Australia.
Yeah, there's something obviously majorly wrong with the way the Aussies are playing at the moment, and is it no coincidence of late that 2 of them have just happened in this particular series because of the rule changes? Mind you, you know, the Indian boys haven't bowled that well either, if you look at it. But there it is. Like, that's just ridiculous stuff. You know, if you said this to Sonny and I 15 years ago, that this was going to happen, you know, any team getting beaten chasing 350, 360, we'd laugh at you.
Okay, that's the question I'm going to ask Sunny Bhai, who joins us live from Nagpur. We heard MS Dhoni say after the match that 350 is like the new 280, but is it really good for the game? He raised a few questions. What is your take on this?
I think it's a pretty valid question. The game has always got to be a balance between bat and ball. I know it's been skewed in favor of the batsman for such a long time, but I would have thought that by allowing the bouncer to be bowled in limited overs cricket, you gave the bowler something extra by having 2 balls. I think 2 new balls. You've certainly taken the spinner out of the game to an extent, because you've got a ball which is 25 overs old on either side. So the spinner will really not come into play that often. And the most crucial rule really has been that of having only 4 fielders outside the circle. That is of no help at all to the bowlers. Maybe that's the rule that we need to have a look at. And I think if we do that, then maybe the balance might be again redressed a little bit, but not totally. Because after all, at the end of the day, whether anybody likes it or not, this is a batsman's game, and people come to see batsmen bat, not to see bowlers bowl.
Okay, so okay, I'm going to ask you another question. So would you then be happy to see 7 hours of 4s and 6s if you were just viewing a game?
No, I wouldn't be. I agree with Mahi that no, you don't want to see 7 hours of just bang bang, which is, well, this is now turning out to be an extended version of 2020. Where in 2020 everything is really bang bang from the word go. This is pretty much what is happening. But at least in 2020 you expect, in a 50 overs game, you think that, you know, the bowlers will be able to, you know, curb it just a little bit. But if you get pitches as good as this, that's not going to happen. The best of bowlers are going to get smashed all over the park. Okay,
Dino, what do you think? What do you think needs to be done to bring that balance back?
Oh, we've had some real flat tracks, real belters, real shirt fronters. Look, if we had this system in the World Cup, in which we will, in 16 months' time with the bouncy pitches, you'll find a lot more slips will come into play. I think it's attitude from the bowlers. You can't just think of defend. Where can I defend? You've got to start to think, how can I get guys out? And the thing that Sonny and I have played against some magnificent bowlers, Sonny particularly a lot, that not many Yorkers I saw bowl today. Not many guys can bowl their defensive lines and lengths. And I'll tell you what they do. They try and bowl these short, slow balls, bouncy little things that batters can get up and under it and whack it for 6. I faced, and Sonny did, one of the greatest players of all time. And that's Wacker and Wasm and, of course, Joel Garner and Michael Holding and these guys. And I'll tell you what, if they can bowl a Yorker with their eyes shut, none of these bowlers can do that this day and age, or they don't like doing it. Until they wake up and start to do it, they're going to be smashed.
Okay, you mentioned Joel Garner and Michael Holding. Thankfully, they're not on the show, because if they were, I don't think Sunny Bhai would have said, listen, it's the batsman's game, because people just come to see batsmen, because those two fast bowlers wouldn't have taken it very lightly. But Sunny Bhai, I mentioned right at the start of the show that, listen, we're all getting ready for Sachin Tendulkar's retirement. We're going to bid him farewell. And another youngster is just emerging to take his place. Was it a fair comparison?
Well, I think Virat's been simply outstanding, isn't it? I mean, if you compare the situation with what Sachin had achieved at 115 first-class one-day games, you will find that Virat is well ahead, because Sachin took about 80 odd games to get his first one-day 100. So I think India is blessed to have somebody of the talent of Virat Kohli coming through. The fact that he has, in his emerging years, spent a lot of time in the dressing room with the likes of Sachin, Virendra Sehwag, Rahul, Dravid, VVS Lakshman. I don't know whether he spent some time with Sourav, Ganguly, but with these stalwarts, to have spent a little time in the dressing room and to be able to absorb whatever they've been saying and put it to the kind of use that he is doing, speaks very highly of this young man's cricketing intelligence. And I think that is the key, because he reads situations well, he reads the conditions well, he reads the opposition well. And that is the reason why he is scoring so consistently. Okay,
do you know, I know your favorite batsman in one-day cricket is Viv Richards.
Yep.
But you know what? If Virat scores 81 in the next match, he becomes the fastest to 5,000 runs, beating Viv's record.
Yeah, and he's well on the way. Now, fit guy, 1700s already now, and just 110, 111 games or innings that he's got. I'll tell you what, he'll pass Sachin. He'll play 30 ODIs a year for the next 15 years. He'll pass Sachin. He's got him passed in ODI hundreds. Who would have ever thought that?
All right, 18,000 runs. He's going to get past that. That's what you think?
Yep.
Okay, that's a big statement. Sunny Bhai, for you, I mean, I know it's a big statement from Dino, and it's not always easy to look into the future, but the way he's going, you think he can get past the master?
Well, I think that is what human progress is all about. Records are meant to be broken. And while we know that some of the records that Sachin's got are well nigh impossible to be able to get, with the 200 test matches, I don't think anybody is going to reach 200 test matches, nor anybody is going to reach 51 test hundreds. But the manner in which Virat is batting, the record for 49 hundreds looks pretty possible, because now what are we talking about? 32 more hundreds to go, and the way he's batting, number of one-day matches India plays, the number of one-day matches ahead in this year itself, this cricketing season ahead itself, there's a possibility that Virat could get to about 20 or 22 by the end of the Indian cricket season.
The biggest problem with that, of course, Sunny and Nikhil, is that will 50-50 cricket last in 15 years' time? Will T20 cannibalise it and knock it out? Well, that's his major problem, whether he can chase those runs down.
Okay, people said that Test cricket could be in danger when one-day cricket came, but it's still there. Well, of course, we'll have to wait and see. But I know, Sunny Bhai, we're celebrating India's win, but we have to look at some negatives as well. And this is the final question on the game. What do you make of spinners bowling no balls?
Unforgivable, absolutely unforgivable. Because while there is no danger to a fielder close-in, because when you have close-in fielders, there is no way, like a forward short leg and a silly point, there's no way that a bowler should be bowling no balls, because that could cause some serious injury. It could still cause a serious injury if he bowls a regulation ball, but no balls by a spinner, absolute no-no. And I think it's something that the bowling coach really needs to put his hand up and say, well, why is it happening? Is he not helping them? I don't know.
I'm with Sunny, but let's not forget they only had 6 extras out of 350. India, they were superb in their discipline, really. And I know the no balls didn't help, but only 6 extras out of that—that's a wonderful performance.
Well, 6 extra may seem very little, but you know how many they allowed Shane Watson to score? From 25, he went on to score 175 runs. Okay.